All right, welcome back, everybody. This is a live look right now of radar and what Hurricane Matthew is doing right now as we continue our continuous coverage here of Hurricane Matthew. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Forecaster Danny Beckstrom has been standing by in the Weather Center. She has got the very latest.
Yeah, Danny, been tracking this storm for at least a week and a half. This is the moment now when we see whether or not this hurricane will make landfall here in Florida. But we're going to start off with Tony. Tony, what can you tell us about the conditions right now?
Absolutely, Chris and Mary. This is a storm that we have been tracking. We've been talking about for at least the past 12 hours or so. And we're going to continue to be talking about this storm as it continues to approach the coast of Florida. And we're actually going to go to source 2 as we continue to track the eye of this storm, moving on closer to, say, the coast of Brevard County, Melbourne, up towards eventually going to be moving up towards Jacksonville. But in the meantime, you can see it there. Still a very powerful, a very dangerous storm here and across southwest Florida. Not really feeling the full effects of the storm, but we have been dealing with showers and thunderstorms that have been moving across the area from time to time, and likely going to see more of that here heading throughout the overnight hours. So yeah, periods of showers that's not really going to dump a ton of rain. Much of the moisture, much of the rain, the heavy rain and winds are actually out there towards, say, the eye and to the east of the eye. Meanwhile, here across southwest Florida, got some great weather, and I'm going to actually show you the radar here in more detail coming up. Latest advisory, latest update. They update usually the details of the forecast to track on the 5s and the 11s. And on the 2s and the 8s, they usually update some of the specifics as well. So right now, actually down to 120 miles per hour maximum sustained. So it has weakened just a little bit. Last check, we were looking at this thing at 130 miles per hour, moving to the northwest, basically the same speed. Pressure at 938 millibars, so still holding its own here as it continues to threaten the central eastern coast of Florida, and still the track remains the same, potentially weakening further here as it moves up towards the Jacksonville area at about 120 miles per hour. Basically still a very powerful storm that's going to threaten lots of storm surge and winds for those locations, and then potentially tracking towards, say, eastern sections of Georgia, South Carolina, weakening into a Category 1 storm here over the weekend and having no effect on our weather by that point. Doppler radar now, we've seen, yeah, the periodic little shower, small cells here, basically peppering Charlotte County. Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, you folks are dry. Maybe a few specks here through the Cape Hayes Peninsula. Fort Myers nearly totally dry at Lee County, rather, at the present time. But we are seeing bulk of the activity, say, Glades County, Clewiston, and eastward, where we're seeing some showers move through Lake Okeechobee now. And these will likely continue to basically skirt the coast of Clewiston. And these are packing some strong winds out there as well. So folks out there in Glades County, you may just miss the worst of it, but likely to see some maybe tropical storm force winds near Lake Okeechobee. These will track on towards Belglade and out towards, say, Palm Beach County and Broward County here as well. Storm Shield forecast next few hours. Still going to be watching that eye very closely. Does it continue to basically flirt with the coast, or does it actually move inland or on land? And that's really what we're going to be watching for. It'll make an impact on basically whether or not it strengthens, it holds its strength, it weakens, and the impacts that it has on some of those coastal spots of Florida. So I know many folks have family who may live on the eastern coast, or basically the barrier islands that we've been talking about. Many of them have been mandatory evacuations in place, and for good reason, because the winds with this certainly won't be a joke as we continue to track it on moving towards the north. It looks like we're losing some data here, but you get the idea. This system going to move on towards the north. For us, winds will turn more out of the north and west, eventually out of the west, and we'll likely be seeing something in the way of showers here for your Friday morning. Although coverage at this point doesn't look to be widespread. So if you're watching, you're thinking about what am I going to see for your Friday morning, yeah, we'll be possibly tracking some periodic showers moving, say, west to east. across the region, and some of them could be on the heavier side, but looks like at this point not a ton of rain out there. By the way, conditions will be breezy. In fact, they're pretty breezy right now, with winds anywhere, say 5 to 17 miles per hour sustained in Punta Gorda. We've got 15 in Naples, still holding at about 21. I think every time I'm doing this update, it's still at 21 in Clewiston. So we'll watch for that to change here over the next, say, update or so. So we'll watch for about 15 to 20 miles per hour winds for your Friday. Gusts in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 expected here in Southwest Florida. I think the stronger of that will be Glades and Hendry County, the folks who definitely saw some strong wind gusts for today. And by the way, winds that were even stronger out towards, say, Palm Beach and Broward, up towards Martin County, where many of those areas have recorded gusts today in the neighborhood of, say, 50 to 60 miles per hour. So more of that likely for them. Meantime, for us, your Saturday, by the way, just breezy conditions, likely get into more sunshine as well, and largely dry, if you could believe that, for your Saturday. So we're definitely going to see improving conditions. That's the headline. But in the meantime, definitely going to have to pay attention to the storm, mainly for our friends on the eastern side of the state and for our friends also in Glades and Hendry County, who are likely to see some of the stronger winds associated with this as well. Projected wind field still shows, excuse me, the storm hugging the coast of Florida. That's where we'll likely watch for that eye interaction with land. And as I fast forward, this hurricane force winds not going to be a problem for, say, got friends in Broward County, still watching for them in Miami. They're breathing a sigh of relief here for tonight, as the storm looks like it's going to be more of a threat for, say, Indian River County, Brevard County, up towards Volusia, and then towards Duval and Jacksonville area, where many of those guys are certainly hunkering down tonight for seeing some serious impacts with the storm that's likely to be a Category 3 for them.